hold on. Let me just adjust this screen a little bit. Sorry. All right, all better. What's going on, everybody? Chris here from Realridesharestories. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Before we get started, if you have a crazy Uber Lyft experience, whether you're a passenger or a driver, record it, send it my way, and maybe we can feature you on the channel. So today we're doing a live stream, and we're going to be talking about what is the longest or the maximum distance that you can go in an Uber or Lyft. Is there a cap or not? So we're going to be talking about a few different things there when it comes to it. Because there's a lot of different things that you can find out if you just do some searches online, and there's a lot of different things where they don't necessarily tell you the right information, and if you go and try to verify it, like through ordering a Uber or Lyft to see if it can go a certain distance, you can go beyond what is showed online. So let's kind of put a few things aside and try to get down to the actual maximum distance that anybody can go in rideshare. So first of all, if you go online, you go search on Google for Lyft's maximum distance, it's going to tell you that it's 100 miles maximum, and really it's not true. So if you see that 100-mile maximum, you can go much further. You can just easily go to the app and type in okay, Portland states no more than 300 miles. Yeah, there's certain caps that you can find, but each place is different. But like I said, if you're looking online, it'll say 100 miles. And like I said, that's not true. The biggest thing is it's actually done by payout. So you need to look at the max payouts. Each area is going to be different, but most areas are going to be a $300 max payout to drivers. So if you take a ride as a driver, the maximum amount you can get per ride is $300. So that's something that you really need to watch out for when it comes to the maximums on the payouts and what you can make. So you really want to watch out on that, because if you're going to go over than that, you might want to end the ride at that point where you're going to hit that $300 mark. And yet that's very tough to tell because you don't know where that's actually going to be. And then the max payout on the passenger side is $500 for many areas. And again, that's just for regular. Some of these other rides like Lux and Black and all those, they're going to actually be higher. So like $1,200 might be the highest for per ride, depending on what you order. So again, I'm just going on regular rides, which you can actually look up in your area what the max payouts are for drivers. If you are a driver, you can just go and log into your dashboard and see what your rate card is, and it'll actually tell you what the max payout per ride actually is. And then you can also go online for passengers and see what the max payout is in your area, or what the max you would pay as a passenger would be. So you want to make sure that you know that. Hold on, got a couple quick comment. Just picked up a ride that was 350 miles away, 500 protected me. Yeah, that's a problem. Now, Heidi, I'm glad you're actually on, because one of the things that if you look and go on Google for what the maximum ride Uber has, is they say it's 4 hours. Now, I've seen videos and I've seen posts that that's not true either. But what they say is that after you reach 4 hours, the ride ends and you don't know, it just ends, like automatically ends, and then the person has to order a new ride. And if you're not in an area where you can drive, then that you have to order a new ride. So Heidi, if you did you take that ride? They said that, oh yeah, you did, because you said that the charge. Now, that was obviously over the 4 hour mark. You took the whole thing, correct? In the breakdown, does it show that it only counted for 4 hours and then it just stopped computing? Or did it show the actual time and distance that it should? Okay. Yeah, so that's, okay, good, thank you. All right, yeah, because the longest ride I've taken was about an hour and 20 minutes. away, which is only, it's from our town to the next. So I've seen other videos out there that, you've seen Mr. Beast's video, I'm sure, that he drove 2,256 miles from North Carolina to LA through one Uber ride. So it was apparently about I think it was like 37 or 40 hours or something, but still extremely long ride, no matter even if he was just doing it for a video or whatnot. But if you looked, so far I actually did fun facts. The longest Lyft trip was 639 miles, which is well beyond that 100-mile threshold that you find online if you're searching. Again, that's also beyond the max payout as well too, because it was $740 for the regular rate, how they computed it. Again, you can look that up online, what the longest ride was, because they did release that information. I also know that there was a ride that went from Chicago to Buffalo, and that was because it was a Buffalo Bill who's an NFL player, was in Chicago and couldn't take couldn't take a flight because of a storm or something happened. So he ended up taking an Uber or Lyft. I don't remember because it was like 2 or 3 years ago. And so that's an 8-hour drive, and that's about 500 or so miles. I think it's actually maybe just a touch less, but still that's a pretty good distance. So again, what's going on here? Are they telling the truth? Or are they just kind of pulling numbers out of maybe something that they heard when you're searching online? Now, when you search on Uber and Lyft's websites, they don't show any information like that. And I'm actually looking on the website itself. It doesn't show any information. The only information it does show on Lyft's website is the max payout per ride when it comes to a ride. And again, that is kind of not the same when it comes to the fact that it was that the longest ride was 639 miles at $740. So there's some discrepancies here. But yeah, so, and then the other fun fact, sorry, I have my list written down of stuff that I wanted to cover. And then fun fact for Uber is the longest ride is 2,256 miles. Again, that was a video done by Mr. Beast, so if you want to check that video out, you can actually see he did like a vlog style from the very beginning all the way through the ride to the end. I think it was like a 15-minute video, so it wasn't too long. But again, it's just some weird discrepancies there. All right, just saw a couple of comments come through, Heidi. So just going through that, he said he selected a closer destination, changed it. Yeah, that's one problem right there too, is the fact that passengers can do is they'll order a ride that's going to be closer and then change the destination before the ride starts or during, like, as you're getting the order changed from, or I'm sorry, geez, my mind's going a little blank right now. When you're actually changing it over from arriving to starting the trip, they can change that destination right there and, take it for much longer. So the question is, will Uber actually just stop the clock at the 4-hour mark, or will Lyft stop it at the $500 mark for the payout? And again, for drivers in many markets, it's $300 max payout for a regular ride. So you want to make sure you are aware of those things and how it works, especially when it comes to surge and prime, well, not really surge, but prime time pricing, if you're lucky enough to get that. So maybe a football game ends and you're in New Orleans and they want to go back to Dallas. I mean, it's possible. So surge is going to be pretty strong there. And I mean, again, the price could be pretty crazy there. But yeah, it's hard to find out what it's going to be. So some of the things that I did just on the apps itself, so I looked up both Uber and Lyft, and it was kind of pretty close to what I found on the website, where it said for Uber it would take about 4 hours. So anything on the distance from where my pickup location would have been to about 4 hours away. it would show the price. It wouldn't show a problem. It would actually give you all the information. It would tell you exactly what it cost. But if I went further, it would say poor connection and order ride without seeing price. So that was pretty strange there. Now, I didn't order the rides because, one, I'm not trying to order a ride and going 4 or 5 hours away, or even longer, because some of the rides that I did was even longer. So I did from Buffalo, where I am, to Pittsburgh, which is about a 3-hour drive. Both platforms came up fine. You could order on both. Then I went to Morgantown, PA, which is a little bit further. It's almost on, or I'm sorry, Morgantown, West Virginia. So it's just on the other side of Pennsylvania all the way through. It's the north end of West Virginia right there. So you got to go through. It's like a 4.5-hour drive. Now, it did not show the price on Uber. That's when it said order ride without seeing price. Again, I didn't order the ride because I don't want to try and be charged for that. And then I did it on Lyft's platform where they showed it perfectly fine, got the price, no problem. But then I extended the range a little bit further again, from Buffalo to Roanoke, or Buffalo to Chicago, or Buffalo to New York City, Philadelphia. I tried all those different spots, and each of them came up. There was no, it just came up as dashes or trying to order a ride. So it showed anything beyond that $500 max payout for a passenger, then it wouldn't show the price. Now the question is, can you order that ride, or do you have to do what this person at Heidi was just doing, where they do a location that's closer? Maybe it's still a long distance, but maybe they'll say, oh, I'm just going to Pittsburgh, but in actuality, which would be 3 hours, but actuality, oh, I'm going to go to Charlotte instead, which would be a 10-hour drive. So there's a lot of different things here that, you know, what's the real truth behind the matter? And honestly, I can't tell you really. I just go by what people show me online that I see, when people send me stuff from you guys, when you guys are commenting or talking. But yeah, anybody who's taking long rides, if you are taking a long ride or have taken a really long ride, and I mean anything that goes beyond 4 hours in an Uber, or anything that goes beyond $500 payout, or even a $300 payout, well, it just depends on your area, your market. If you've gone beyond what your max pay rate would be, or max payout would be, depending if you're a passenger driver, you know, can you take that ride in Lyft? So it's a really unique situation. Honestly, I don't mind it. What's up, Renegade Biker? All hours, miles, their application. Yeah. Oh, they're always going to keep their fees. How long ago was that? This guy had you deliver a package. Sent a screenshot of my trip. I saw others. He was using, wow. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, using it as a delivery service. Why don't you just use Amazon Prime, or the Amazon, I'm sorry, the Amazon affiliate or whatever. I don't even remember what they're called. Just a long day altogether today. I almost wasn't able to do the live stream, but I kind of wanted to get it out there, because yes, again, the long streams. Oh, Friday. Okay, so really recent. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know why people would do that unless it was a really big package, but I guess that's a pretty decent ride because you don't have to deal with any passenger. In that case, like I said, I've taken a few long rides and I don't mind taking them, especially because I know that on Lyft I can drive in multiple states around my area because we're kind of close to a couple of different borders. But yeah, some places you can't. So if you cross into certain states because of certain verification issues, you might not be able to drive in that area or pick up people in that area. So one of the big things is I drive in New York. I can drive in all of upstate New York and Long Island, but I cannot pick up people in the 5 boroughs of New York City. So that's just the state. But with Uber, You can't really pick up people outside the area or outside the state. With Lyft, you can. So the long rides, sometimes I really don't mind, but sometimes you got to kind of weigh the options and figure out what's going to be the best for you in terms of if you have the time, if you have the ability to do it or not. Needed it overnight. Oh yeah. So I'm sure. I hope that you got the adjustment at least. But this guy's been doing it for a while, so I wonder if you put in a complaint, they'll probably see what's going on, and they might try and contact him and be like, "Look, what are you doing? Because you keep putting in all these crazy destinations." I don't know. I'm not them. I'm sure they'll probably keep letting him do it though, but with the upcoming football season about to kick off, can you do some videos on how to handle the insanity of pickups before and after football games when it comes to traffic? The answer is I absolutely will do that. Yes, that is very true. We're in the preseason for football right now. Pickups are a pain in the ass, especially when it comes to after the game. So yes, I will make a video for that. Because we're in preseason, I'll actually try to up that video to maybe try to do it this week when it comes to dealing with it. What I'll do is I'll actually go to our close stadium, which is the Buffalo Bills Stadium, and just kind of show a couple of things there, especially when it comes to traffic. I can only give you what goes on though in my market and what they do to the roads in that area. So something like something like Dallas, something like Jacksonville, something like Seattle. They're all going to be a little bit different, but at least you can kind of use the same concepts and the same ideas for getting pickups and drop-offs much better for you when it comes to that. But yes, I will definitely do a video for that, and I'll actually try doing it for this week. Need it overnight. I still can't get over it, needing that package overnight. Yeah, the hotel, unfortunately. There's definitely ways around that. I can get really, really good hotel pricing, but yeah, that's a different story. But yeah, you want to, unfortunately, that can be a problem. If you feel comfortable and you take a long ride like that and you need some sleep, and you do feel comfortable, rest stops can be a good spot to pull over and sleep a few hours. I've done that on very long journeys myself. I've driven up and down the East Coast into Texas. You know, my truck had like 50,000 miles on it in like a year or something because I was going all over the place, driving down to Charlotte, driving to Houston, driving to Florida. So yes, you can definitely pull over if you feel comfortable, and that's going to save you some money right there. But that's up to you. Sometimes it can be a little bit scary or nerve-wracking if you're not sure, but you can keep your doors locked and pull over to a rest area, sleep it off for a couple hours, and then get back on. But that can definitely save you the cost of a what's up, Mitch, off the fence? Glad to see you're off the fence. What was I saying? I'm sorry. Yeah, you can definitely do that so you'll feel much more refreshed in the day, and you'll save yourself the money from a hotel. Let's roll. Tina, how you doing? You tell people when you go to a big event, always ask them to go 4 blocks in any direction. Yes, that's a good one. The problem is when it comes to stadiums. A lot of stadiums, especially when you got 60, 70, up to 80,000 people, they're going to shut roads down, and there's only 1 or 2 routes where you can actually make it towards the stadium, depending on some things. But yeah, other large events like that, so like hockey, baseball, concerts, large concerts like that, all those, yeah, you can definitely tell them a few blocks away. That's a good tip right there when it comes to it. Your market is going to be insane, especially in the local police department. All right. Well, Renegade Biker, what market are you in? I think you told me once before, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So Mitch, you're about to do your first ride maybe tomorrow. A bit nervous. The first few rides. All right. Actually, it's kind of funny. My friend Aaron, who is in a couple of the Rideshare Driver Joe videos as Bert. So if you remember Bert, he is actually going to be starting to drive Uber or Lyft very soon too. He just got a new car, well, newer car. His old cars wouldn't let him drive, so he had some car problems. But no, he bought a 2013. It's got like 130,000 miles on it. So by no means it's actually new. He paid like just over $5,000 for it. But yeah, he's gonna start doing Uber and Lyft. And now I signed up for it about 4 years ago for Uber, and then I didn't do Lyft to start, but I signed up for Lyft when it became available then in this area after I moved back. So I've been doing Lyft also for actually about 2+ years now. So the mindset's a little bit different because I've been doing it, but for tips on just starting off, get familiar with the app. So open up the app, see what it's all about, the driving app. See what it's all about, kind of get your way to navigate through the app, see how it's all set up. And then when you're ready to go online, it's actually pretty simple. It'll pop up on both apps, where do you want to go, or I'm sorry, it'll pop up a ride and it'll then start directing you if you accept that ride. And if you do, one of the things I look at, and some other drivers will, is look at the passenger rating. I don't take any rides, or maybe very rarely. There's always exceptions to every rule. But when it comes to a Lyft or Uber, if their passenger rating is below 4.8, I don't usually take it. I've seen some pretty low ratings, and if you're a subscriber to the channel, I posted in the community tab, I think it was yesterday, about somebody who, it was a 3.67 with a 2.2 surge that came in. That wasn't to me, that was somebody I saw on a Facebook post, or in one of my local Facebook pages, but I was like, wow, what do you do there? But yeah, when it comes to their passenger rating, I like to tend to stay about 4.8 or higher. If it's really slow or really quiet, you can do lower if you really want to. But to get your first few rides in, you're gonna wanna do that, where it's gonna have a little bit higher of a rating. Also time, depending on where you are when what market you're in, pickup times are a big thing. So if you're driving, over 10, 12, 15 minutes away, because sometimes you'll see 20, 30-minute pickups. Sometimes it's going to be a gamble if you want to take it. My experience has been on usually long rides or long pickups. It's usually sometimes short rides. It just depends though on your market. There are certain cases or certain pickup places. One of the examples is a concert venue and also amusement park, which is called Darien Lake, which is probably about an hour, no, it's probably about 40 minutes or so inland from Buffalo, the city. So you might get a ride for there, which could be like 20, 25 minutes away if you're in that somewhat general vicinity. Now, the good news about that is chances are if you do take that and you're gambling, if it's going to be a decent ride, chances are it's probably going to be good, only because, again, Darien Lake is pretty far from the city and suburbs of Buffalo, so you're probably going to have just as long as a ride back to it, or even longer ride itself. Also, just be courteous, say, hey, how you doing? You don't have to bend over backwards. You don't have to take crap from anybody. Don't be disrespected upon. None of that stuff. But yeah, when a ride comes in, just go there. Once you get there, depending on what platform you're on, if it's Uber or Lyft, Uber will just automatically start a timer, and then Lyft, you have to just swipe saying arrive, and then it'll start the timer. But yeah, other than that, then just follow the map and take a few rides, and that's all I can really tell you. Other than that, it's like I said, it's been such a long time since I started, so my mindset is so different, and that's why I brought up Aaron earlier. is that he's going to be starting, and he's actually we're going to sit down probably right here in the podcast studio and just talk about his experience as a new driver, so I can help anybody who is starting out. But honestly, it's a lot of fun. The first ride is pretty unique because you might get all nervous or rackety or something like that. But once you start getting into it, you'll realize, you know what, it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. You just gotta kind of learn your market, learn the times when it's busy, learn the area, and then, you know, once you know the area pretty well, you'll be able to tell if the map is not necessarily taking you the best way or the right way, because that does happen from time to time, where it'll actually swing you around a different way for whatever reason. Maybe Uber's trying to get greedy and make the fare longer. But yeah, I mean, you'll run into a lot of different things. But if you got any questions or anything, you know, shoot me an email, whatever it might be. We can talk a little bit further too. But don't be nervous. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. It's a lot of fun. All right, where are we at? Sorry, going back in some of the comments that I missed. Should have to get to Uber should. Yeah, Uber should. I mean, Heidi, there's Uber Freight for a reason. Hey, what's up, Chelsea? Yeah, so hopefully she's sleeping, talking about the kiddo. Welcome. Fayetteville, Arkansas. Okay, yeah, that's what's going on. What did they do in Arkansas? Usually I'm pretty good when it comes to sports stuff, but I'm not sure. Is it just because of the college they put up a new stadium? Let me know. Yeah, because I'm not sure. I mean, I'm thinking NFL, only because, well, NFL is pretty big here. We have, I don't even remember what's the New Era Stadium, which holds like 74,000 people or whatever it is. So it's a pretty big stadium. And then we have UB, which is pretty good size too. So call a rider, let them know where the current location is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Let's Roll Tina. You can do that too. One of the things too is when you get there, one of the easiest things to do with with Uber is just shoot them a text through the app that says, "Hey, I'm here." Very simple, because it shows that you know, if they're waiting, because sometimes the GPS does mess up and shows that you might not be there. So once you get there, just say, "Hey, you're there." If you can't get to that actual pickup spot due to some reason like the road's blocked or it's too busy or something like that, just give them a call at that point and let them know where you are exactly so they can find you, or if there's another way to get around. But yeah, one of the biggest things is don't take crap from people. That's the biggest thing. So you don't have to accept every ride. You don't have to worry about anything like that. You might get something where it says low acceptance, and you might get like a text or something, but there's nothing that they really can do when it comes to that. If you don't want to take a ride, you don't have to. It's up to you. Also, one last thing too, I forgot to mention with new rides, new drivers and learning how the rides. You can get requests when you're finishing a ride. So a new ride might come in on both Uber and Lyft's platform. On Uber's, you'll have to accept it. You can look at the passenger rating, the distance from where the drop-off location is, and then on Lyft, it just automatically adds to queue. If you're in an area that you don't feel safe or you don't feel comfortable, something's going on, what you can do is you can go into the options and then do cancel new requests or go offline after ride. And then that way it won't give you new rides as you're finishing up, because it can count against you, against your acceptance rate. Acceptance rates also, again, your cancellation rates. Your acceptance rates, sorry. cancellation rate and acceptance rates are two different things. I'm getting cross-eyed for a second, so sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, if you got any questions, shoot me an email, realridesharestories@gmail.com. I can give you my number through email. We can chat that way. So if you got any questions or anything, let me know. But yeah, hey, Mitch, I mean, you've been a pretty loyal watcher for quite a few channels that I've seen you on. If you wanted to make a video and then send it my way about being a new driver as well too, and some of the differences or expectations or whatever it was, you know, record yourself, just sit here like this, talk about it, and send it my way, and I can upload it to everybody and do that. But again, like I said, once Aaron kind of gets into it, I'm gonna also have him on, and we'll probably just sit down, chat, so we can also do that. So other people who are on the fence, they'll be able to figure out if it's good for them, if it's not, what they expect versus the reality, and a lot of different things like that. So yeah. Washing the car, it's filthy. Yes, that's something you want to do. Make sure your car's clean. I'm actually in the process of editing a video right now about why you should have your car clean. So that's kind of funny that you said that. But yes, that video will probably be coming out later this week. I'm in the middle of editing that one. So, all right. Only sleeping 45 minutes. Oh my goodness. My daughter's only not sleeping enough. Not cool. Side note, they moved all the Little Rocky. Oh, okay. 85,000 people. Okay. So that is going to be a big, what's up, Seth? How's it going? Yeah, that's huge. So 85,000. I'll have that video for you. Give me a little bit of time because I'm going to go to the stadium itself just to give you guys some perspective for like some different footage besides just my beautiful face. And then I'll show you kind of like a bird's eye view because I already had that plan in my head, especially with football season. But yeah, 85,000 is big. The only thing I'm going to tell you right now though is, like I said, my market's different, or my stadium is different from yours just because the layout, everything that's going on. So one of the things to do with that is if you know how the road traffic will be blocked, that's going to be the best thing for you. You'll need to figure out what areas to go in order to get passengers, what areas not to, and what to avoid and all that stuff. So that might be a little bit of trial and error, but there's definitely a few tips that I can talk about on that subject for sure. Yep. Hey, Seth. Helpful new drivers to cancel after last ride. Yep. Yeah, like I said, if for some reason you don't want to take another ride, maybe you need to get gas, maybe you need to get just take a bathroom break, whatever it might be. Oh, also, yeah, good thing that came up. Just popped in my mind. Make sure you get a mileage and expense tracker app. A lot of apps will actually combine them, but you want to track your miles whenever you're online because they don't track the mileage unless you actually have taken a ride. So if you have a passenger in the car, that's when they actually track the mileage. But the mileage that it takes for you to go from your house or your place of business or wherever you are to start driving to actual pickup, they don't record that. So you want to make sure any mileage that you drive is recorded because it's technically a business expense. So you want to make sure that. Also, like I said, most apps have expense trackers within the mileage tracker. I use Everlance, which has both. I'm thinking about upgrading or changing. I don't know if it's an upgrade or if it's just a side step to Quicken or to QuickBooks for small business. I might do that. I'm kind of weighing that option right now. Either way, if you have to spend money on an app, that's a business expense, so you can claim all that stuff. Same thing if you get like water or coffee, energy drinks, all that stuff is, and you're using it for, rideshare, you can use that as a tax write-off. Now, don't quote me 100%. I'm not a CPA, so I can't actually give you tax advice. Talk to a CPA. But those things, if you follow them, and that's my disclaimer right there. Is a dash cam? Under my experience, it is. I can't tell you yes or no for sure because I'm not a tax or not a CPA. But from my experience and other people's experience, it absolutely is. So I again highly recommend dash cam. So that's also a good thing to have right there. I always recommend the Vantrue N2 Pro. That's the camera that you see in every video of mine, minus this is like these are my phone. But anytime you see any of the ride videos of mine, that's shot with that camera, so you get a very good field of view, especially at night. You also get the front-facing camera. I always recommend that one because that's the one I use, and that's the one I enjoy. If anything happened to that, I would definitely get a new one of that same one. If you want to check that one out, it's always going to be in the link in the description below. You might have to scroll down. It'll say dash cam. I don't remember what it says in it because I have the automatic description in YouTube because writing all that information takes a long time. But yeah, dash cams are highly recommended. Now, I did not use a dash cam starting out. I actually didn't get a dash cam till about a year and a half ago. And like I said, I was driving. So I originally started driving in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was just doing Uber down there. And that was about 4 years ago. Then I went to New York City for a little while. Did not want to drive in New York City because of all the laws, the rules, regulations when it comes to all that. Plus, I drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Not the best to drive in New York City, especially in Manhattan and other close areas like that, where the roads are just, it's better definitely for cars, especially trying to pull up and pull into spots to drop people off and pick them up. So that's one of the reasons why I avoided it, but there's many more as well too when it comes to New York City. But when I went back to Buffalo, where I am currently, I actually had to wait for Uber and Lyft to start coming into the area because it wasn't in our area yet. There was issues with legislators, but they changed that, so it's actually been available for about a little over 2 years now. And so I got my dash cam about a year and a half ago. So yeah, I was actually doing rides without the dash cam. Never ran into any problems, but there were a few cases where it definitely pushed me into looking at getting a dash cam, and that was the reason why I went with the dash cam. And I do strongly recommend it, especially that I've been getting into a lot more things, especially with YouTube, talking to Dustin, talking to Dylan, talking to other people in YouTube, having you guys share your stories with some crazy things that go on. And it's just something that's going to cover your ass and something that's going to be good for you. So a dash cam is highly recommended. You do not have to drive with one, but it's going to be really good to have just in case. So Mitch, if you haven't bought a dash cam yet, wait, I think you did, didn't you? Didn't you just comment on a video of my video yesterday? Sorry, I've been getting a lot of comments. I actually have to say, welcome all new subscribers. The last few days this channel has pretty much exploded, so I'm very happy about that. Thank you everybody who's new and came and commenting. I like hearing everybody. All the hate comments, guess what? I don't care. But yeah, definitely get a dash cam. Uber Eats is a great addition. Yeah, so Heidi, Uber Eats, great addition to rideshare earnings. Plus, it gets you up from sitting so long, which can take a toll on your body. Absolutely. I'm glad that Uber Eats works for you. I was doing Uber Eats to start off. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't like it. It was not worth it to me, but it does help when it's slow. It's a great addition for people. So I'm not going to knock it in any way, shape, or form. It's slow during the summer, and Uber Eats is a great way to get some more rides, to make some more money. When you're sitting for so long, you definitely want to get up, walk around, stretch a little bit. Just be healthy, be mindful. Again, make sure you have water, something to drink, something to snack on. If you got to pull or end for a little bit, get some food, something like that. Make sure you stay healthy. And again, walk a little bit, because yeah, sitting in a seated position for 5, 6, 7, 8+ hours a day, or for a shift, can take a strong toll on the body. So get up, walk around, maybe every hour, just pull over to the side of the road, or while you're waiting for one, pull over to the side of the road, just get up, walk around the car, check the car over for whatever reason, just to do something. But yeah, definitely get up, stretch, so you stay healthy that way. Do I ever get a PAX asking about? Yes, I do. I get that asked all the time. Well, not really all the time, but the legality behind it. A lot of people will bring up jokes that they'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna put this on YouTube?" I'm like, "Maybe," and then they're like, "Well, I didn't consent to that," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, you do." No, I actually have a release form. But yeah, with when it comes to the dash cam, there are a few different things that you want to keep in mind, especially in your state. First off, look up your state laws. So find out if you're a one-party state or a two-party state. If you are a one-party state, you can have a dash cam in, zero problems. You don't even have to tell anybody you have it. It can be there. You can even have hidden cameras for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It's a one-party state. Audio and video recording, because you are the one party, you consent to it, so that's fine. Anybody coming in your car, guess what? Too bad, so sad. One of the things in a two-party state, where you need both parties to consent in order to do that, you can put stickers into your car, which say like warning, audio and video recording in progress, consent given upon entering vehicle. You can get those on Amazon. I have a few stickers. Even though my state is a one-party state, I still have a couple stickers in there. And the reason why is if people want to try something stupid and they don't realize that I have a dash cam, that nice little sticker that's red and white that they'll pretty much see because it's literally staring in their face if they're in the back, and even I have it on the dash in the front. They'll know, they'll see, so if they want to try anything stupid, and then it's just sometimes a fun talking point. They'll actually try and read the sign, read it, and then we'll have a fun discussion about that. And then a lot of people I've also talked to or have talked with, they say, "Hey, that's an awesome idea. That's great. You drivers need safety too." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, we do." And then I'll even say, "Hey, it's even good for you guys because it shows that anybody who has a dash cam wants to act professional." So they enjoy that. So that's definitely something that's always good. But yes, I do get that question all the time, quite often. Everlance and QuickBooks on trial. That's great. Dashcam has an alert that goes off every 2 hours to tell you to rest. That's actually a pretty cool feature to have. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. What I end up doing, like I say, if I've taken maybe an hour and a half worth of rides or something, where it's just back to back to back to back, where it does happen, I'll usually just hit cancel or end new rides, take a minute, maybe if I want to go to a different area, maybe if I know something's going on where it's busy, then I might drive to that area, or I might just take a little break. But at least at that point, I'll usually get up, walk around, do something real quick to stretch, get back in and restart. You're doing a video on dash cams, right? I have done a video on dash cam, probably about maybe about 3 months ago or so. So if you want to do that, I talk about the different types of dash cams, because there's a lot out there, so like what your needs are. So if you're driving at night, you want to have something with IR. If you want to have a forward facing and an interior facing, there's also rear facing, which will face out the back window. There's quite a few different options, so I talk about that in a video. You'll have to scroll back and find that. I don't remember what it is offhand, the title name. And then I also do a review of the Vantrue N2 Pro, as well as a mini spy cam, which I have somewhere right here. I don't know. I actually have the spy cam right here. But yeah, I do a review on those and talk about them. But if you have, like I said, if you have any other questions with it, one of the big things is loop recording versus just recording. So the N2 Pro has a recording option that does loop recording, or it'll record to full. If you want to just have it on a loop where you don't really necessarily need to worry about saving the footage, then keep it on loop, and then if it gets into an accident or gets some kind of vibration, or if you know that there's some certain issue, you can pull out the SD card, put it on your computer, either on the hard drive or external. Now what I do is I do it record until full, so it's not loop recording, because I record and save every ride that I've taken. So since I got my dash cam all the way to today, I have it saved on an external hard drive, but only the ride itself, from the beginning of the ride to the end of the ride, and a few seconds before and a few seconds after, just so it shows the complete ride in full. But yeah, so I've done a few videos on dash cams. If you watch those videos and you have any other questions or want like some more information, I can definitely put a video together with dash cams, talking about them and going a little bit more in depth on certain things. So you just let me know. I'm always happy to take anybody who watches this channel, any ideas or thoughts on video ideas or questions or things like that. Gladly able to put it into a video for anybody out there who may have that same question as well. All right. But yeah, so I did already do a video on dashcam. All right, guys, any other questions? Anything with trip length or maximum distance? I know we got off topic on that pretty quick, but again, there really is no concrete answer on a long distance ride, because you know, the passenger can change the location. So every 4 hours, does Uber actually just cancel the ride? From what I've seen, that answer is no. For Lyft, the max payout, from what I've heard, is $300 for driver, at least in my area, and several markets that I looked up on a regular rate. What's up, Bloody Sniper? Pretty interesting name. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, so the max payout with $300 for drivers, max payout or max pay of $500 for Lyft, going at least on the regular rides, the X rides. So that's going to be probably the mark that you want to stay around. So if you're taking a ride and you notice it's going to be over $300, or whatever your maximum rate is for your area, again, look at your card that you can look up in the dashboard in your back office, if you want to call it that, but in your dashboard via Lyft. See what that is, and if you think you might go beyond that, then you know that's when you can just pull over and say, hey, look, the ride's at its end point. This is as far as I can go as a driver. If you want to reorder the ride and reorder it, then you can do that. I'm pretty good. How are you? I'm just actually wrapping up soon. But if you had any questions or anything, comment. I'm kind of answering questions and just wrapping up with the maximum fares and maximum distances. And kind of saying how everything you find online isn't necessarily true in the practicality of it. And the only thing that you can really do is look on the app itself and kind of test areas from your location and see how far you can go if you're a driver and want to know that, or if you're a passenger and you want to know that. Now, for passengers who want to go beyond certain locations, so yes, if you want to go from Buffalo to Charlotte, or if you want to go from North Carolina to LA, you absolutely can do that. You just might have to order multiple rides on the way. There's a few things that you want to watch out for there. So if you have a lot of luggage or something because you don't like flying, yeah, you could do that. But you know, a train ride might be a little cheaper. Just saying. Do I drive full time? No, I do not. I drive part time. I do a lot of different things. So I have multiple multiple revenue sources, multiple income sources, but it's all fun stuff I enjoy doing. So I do a podcast. That's why I have a podcast studio that I'm recording from right now. I do drive Uber and Lyft part-time. Usually in the summer, I do about 15, 20 hours or so, maybe even a little less, depending on just how things are going in the market. Sometimes it's really dead, so you don't really want to do that. Plus in the summer in Buffalo, it's gorgeous out. I want to go out, I want to enjoy, I want to have some fun. So that's one of the things. So I drive a little bit less, and I drive a lot more in the winter. So I might drive, in the winter, anywhere from 25 to 40 hours, depending on how things go. So you could probably say it gets to that full-time aspect, but yeah, I do multiple things. I own a business as well, so that does take up a lot of time. I drive mostly at night. So usually in the summer, I'll start once the sun starts going down. So maybe like between 8 and 9, usually when I start in the summer, again, because I like being outside, I like doing things. And then usually wrap it up once it starts getting slow, or if I get a ride that closes close to my house at the drop-off spot. So, that can usually go from about 12:30 to maybe like 1:32, 3 in the morning. In the wintertime, it's a lot different. Usually I'll start maybe about 7 at night because things pick up pretty good. And then I usually go till about, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, depending on how busy it is and depending on the night. Nights I usually work are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Sunday night. Usually Wednesday and Saturday I try to keep it family time, but sometimes I will go out depending on, if I need some extra money or whatever it might be. But those are the times I go out. I can't go during the day. Some people can. It's really up to you. It's really up to your schedule. But that's pretty much when I drive. From the Czech Republic, what's going on? Wow, we're getting a little far. That's awesome. You don't think you can ask a question? Czech is in Europe, yeah. No, I get that. That's awesome. Some of the rules are going to be absolutely different for sure. Some of the things, how everything is going to be different, but some things are probably going to be pretty similar. But yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. I think you might be I don't know if you're the furthest or not, but that's pretty cool. So I'm sure it's almost 4 o'clock or so here, or maybe a little over. So it's 4 p.m. I don't know what time it is there. Maybe 10, 11 o'clock. So, but yeah, if you got any questions or anything with anything when it comes to driving or even being a passenger or whatever, you can always ask. I will tell you 100% if I don't know something. I have no problem knowing that or saying that. If I don't know, like today's video, what's the max that you can go? The honest answer is, I don't know, because you really can't find it. There are things out there that tell you Lyft only allows you to go 100 miles. That's not true. Flat out, you can open up the app and order a ride that's 200 miles away. So that's not true. After the 4-hour thing, you can watch Mr. Beast's video going 39 or 37 or 40 hours or whatever it is for 2,000 or what was it, 2,256 mile ride or whatever it is. So certain things there are no answers to it. But yeah, and then also if I just don't know it, I'm not gonna lie and say, oh yeah, you can do that, or I might come up with like a way where you could like to problem solve it. Yeah, Mr. Beast got some pretty good stuff for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, there's a lot of different things, and I like being problem solvers. So if people ask questions on things, my mind will start, like the gears will be going. I'll be like, all right, how can I try doing that? And then, share my experience or my thoughts on it. Whether it's right or not, that's something to find out too. But yeah, if it's something that you were wondering and I don't have the answer to, I will absolutely say, I don't know. I don't have a problem doing that. All right, but any other questions from anybody? Any other comments, anything? I am going to wrap up. I'm going to go hang out with the kiddo. because apparently she's not sleeping, but is there a limit? You've done 112 miles. Honestly, we don't know. Nobody really knows. Like I said, it says 100-mile max on Lyft, but again, that's not true because you can order. You can order it much longer. There are max payouts, though, on Lyft. That's specifically from Lyft's platform. On their website, both on the driver's side and on the passenger side. So it does show max payouts. So you got to be careful with that. Uber doesn't say anything. I've seen things where it says 4 hours and it just ends the ride, but there's rides that have gone longer than that. So the real thing is, if you get a long ride request, call them up and you answer and you accept the ride, but you don't know how far it could be. Call them up, ask them where they're going, and if that's going to be good for you, take it. If it's not going to be good for you, say, I'm sorry, but I got to cancel it. You can do that. That's no problem. Unfortunately, they only show a 45-minute plus ride distance. If they started doing it every hour, tiered it, or every half hour or something, tiered it, I think that would be great. So then you at least know. If the driver is rude and strange, what do you do? Well, in the U.S., you can't. What's up, Rick? In the U.S., you can't take anybody who's under 18. You'll want to look that up in the terms of service. Read those, because again, that one I can't answer. In the U.S., I know it's no one under 18 is allowed. Anybody who's over 18, that's fine. So if you have a group of children and one person who's 18 and over or 18 or older, you can take all those kids. That's not a problem, as long as there is somebody who's 18 or over. But again, that's the U.S. I am not sure what Europe or the Czech Republic will be. You want to look up in your terms of service. Uber and Lyft will flat out tell you everything right there. It's usually a few pages long, but it's got a lot of good information in there in terms of what is allowed and what's not allowed. Now, if the driver is rude, write them low. You can tell them, hey, let me pull over. I want to get out of the ride. You can do that. Same thing if the passenger is rude. You can pull over and say, get out of my car. You can definitely do those things, not a problem. But yeah, if the driver is rude too, depending on what they're doing or what they're saying, you can absolutely call Uber or Lyft or email them, depending on how support is set up in your area. But you can definitely let them know and make a report if you feel so inclined. If they're doing something wrong and they're doing something they shouldn't be, by all means, you can definitely report them. Most drivers, though, aren't going to be, don't do a false report. Don't do that. That's just not cool. But if there's a real cause for concern or some issue like that, you can call and report them, because if they're acting weird, if they're acting funky, it's all about safety on both ends, whether you're a passenger or a driver. So if people are acting weird or just not having proper conversations or something like that on both ends, you can call and report them, whether they're passenger or driver, not a problem. But yeah, like I said, when with kids, you're going to have to look up in terms of service, because I'm not sure what check is going to be there. That I couldn't tell you. All right. We're going on an hour. I can't believe that. I didn't think it was going to be this long, but that's awesome. Yeah, 10 at night. It's probably about 4 o'clock right now. I don't even know. I don't have a time anywhere around. But yeah, it's probably about 4 o'clock. So, but yeah, I'm going to go head out. I'm going to do a cookout with the kiddo, with the girl. So we're going to have some fun. But hope you guys got some good information, and also great to talk to a few people from the Czech Republic, which is awesome. And I've seen Rick on here too, so that's great, and everybody else who's participated. Now, if you've taken some long rides and you are watching the replay on this, comment below what yours is, and let me know too, because maybe we can actually figure out what the real maximum distance for Uber and Lyft actually is.
Could it be from the tip of Maine all the way to San Diego, or from Key West, Florida, all the way to Vancouver? Not Vancouver, to Seattle, Washington? Because no, you can't cross the border. Could it be the longest rides? Maybe. Or is there actual limits on that? I don't know. If I find anything out, I'll let you know. But yes, comment below on anything crazy, long rides that you've taken. Anything that's over 100 miles or 4 hours, something like that. Yeah, I guess. Comment, let me know. Give the details if you can. If you've made over $300 on a ride from Lyft as well, comment on that. Or if if you've made over your market's value on what it's capped at, for some reason, let me know, because I'd like to know also that information just to see what's going on. But yes, comment below. Other than that, this has been another episode. Love doing the live streams, love talking with everybody. It's great. It's a lot of fun. But with that being said, going to end it now. So as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time.